Hello, this week we're going to be starting a 3 or 4 part series making a dog. This week we're going to be building the body. To start off, here are some reference images linked below. We're going to start off by making the dog's front legs. We're going to start with a cylinder with 8 sides, and then we can scale down. Then we can hop into edit mode and we can line this up with our reference image from the front and side views. Next, I'll remove the top and bottom faces and add a mirror modifier. Then we can extrude the bottom edges down to the top of the foot. Now onto the foot, we can extrude the back 2 edges down and the front 2 out following the reference image. After we have that, we can match the back and front edges count, and then we can fill in the faces. Add another edge loop and round the foot out before filling in the last 2 faces. Don't forget to do this for both sides of our foot. I would recommend taking a second here to round out the leg before adding some new edge loops, so we can adjust them to make our leg a little more leg-shaped. Now taking the front and backmost vertex at the top of the leg and extruding them up 3 times before filling in the gap and adding 3 more vertexes. And then we can start pushing these vertexes around to match our reference image a bit. Then we can fill in the gap here, add a new edge loop with 2 vertices, and then we can round them out. Do this for all 3. Filling in the gap. Before extruding the underside into the middle, make sure clipping is turned on, and then fill in this 1 face gap. Now I'm going to add another edge loop to the bottom face. Then we can extrude out this vertex into the middle, and then we can add 2 more vertices and fill in this gap. Next, I'll add another edge loop here and round out the front before sliding the leg's vertex by double tapping G. Now we can start on the back leg. We can start by duplicating an edge loop from the front leg, making sure we adjust the vertexes to match our reference image. Then we can extrude this edge loop to the angle, and then down to the foot. I'll separate the front and back legs so that I can hide the front one. This is just to make it easier for you to follow along. After that, I'll move the vertexes in the x-axis. The back legs should be slightly closer together than the front legs. Then we can add some more edge loops to match the leg up with the reference image. Next, we'll extrude the leg up here and add 2 more edge loops. I'll move the front 3 vertexes forward and down. Now we can start rounding out the leg more. I'll head into the viewport overlays and turn on my wireframe. After that, we can extrude the frontmost vertices to the point where we want the front and back legs. Then I'll extrude the back one and fill in this gap. Then we can add 2 more vertices to the front and back edges here, and 3 more to the top before rounding them out a bit. Before bridging the top and bottom edge loops, add 2 more edge loops to this face, and we can then fill in the sides. Next is the foot. Start with a new cylinder with 8 sides, and move it under the leg. Then we can scale it on the x-axis a bit before rotating it on the z. We're going to need to rotate the leg's lower edge loops around to ease it into the foot's rotation. Then we can fill in the gaps between the foot and leg. Now add 2 more edge loops here, and we can make the foot a little more foot-shaped. Before we fill in the bottom faces for the front and back legs. I'm going to join my front and back legs together again. Then I'll add a new cylinder with 16 sides. This will be the midpoint for our dog's body, so scale it to your preferred dog size. After we have that in place, we can fill in the gap between the middle and the top of the legs. I'll start raising the inner side of the leg to meet the dog's body. Filling in the gap between the legs and the back of the center of the body. Then we'll start filling in the gap between the back legs, and then from the legs to the middle. Next we can add 2 more edge loops to this face and round them out to match the reference image, or to whatever you are happy with. After that we can fill in the 2 faces on each side of the center of our loop. Don't forget to take a second to relax these vertexes. Then just select these vertexes here and fill in these faces, and do this for the front gap as well. Now for the top side. Start by extruding 3 vertexes. Now I want these faces to move in this direction. So I'll fill in this last gap between the back legs. After we have that, we can add another cylinder with 8 sides. This is where the tail will start, so let's get this into place. Remember to move half the side, so the mirror modifier won't be messed up by this. Then we can connect the tail hole to the top vertex, and then the bottom, adding 2 more vertices to the bottom edge. Next, we're going to start filling in the back side of the dog. Then we can connect these vertexes, following the leg around. Now we just need to fill in the gap like so. We're going to want to keep a clean loop around the tail hole. We can connect the center loop to the tail hole by adding 3 vertexes and filling in these gaps. I've just noticed on the inside that I've made a mistake, so I'm going to get the knife tool and cut this face and dissolve these edges. When that's fixed, we can extrude the center loop towards the back face, filling in the gap like so. When that's done, we can take another second to relax these vertexes. Now we can start on the front side. By extruding the center vertex up to the legs, make sure to match the number of vertexes on the underside to the top. Next we can connect the top vertex to the leg and add 2 more vertexes and round them out and fill in the gap. After that, we can extrude up the center 2 edges and merge the end vertexes to the leg. So it should loop around like so. Then we can spawn another cylinder with 16 sides. This will be our neck. We're going to delete half of this for the mirror modifier, and then we can scale it on the x-axis. Then I'm just going to match these vertexes up with the reference image. The top 2 vertexes will just connect straight from the body to the neck. Do the same with the front, but add an edge loop here so we can connect the legs as well. Now we can connect the legs to the neck before we connect the legs to the upper body. We're going to need to continue the loop around the neck, so let's add an edge loop here, and then we connect this up. Next we're going to need 3 faces, here, here, and here, and then add an edge loop here and fill it in. I'll take a second to relax these vertexes before adding the tail, but with that we're done. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Part 2 is coming next week, and then we could rig this